Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for today, Monday, November 10th. We're just doing football, and I don't really have enough to say about NBA this time. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. But it wasn't me. Yeah, that was too bad yesterday. We had a lot of the right angles. 25% of our defenses scored touchdowns, so can't complain about that really. But yeah, we didn't take down anything, so we don't have anything to show. We didn't lose money. That's good. On a main slate on a Sunday. That's like the third time all year, so we'll take that. But yeah, nothing to show off. But we do have a take for today. That's what brings me to you right now. And the take is starting with the Green Bay tight ends. Because Tucker Kraft is out, I think. They're questionable and expected to be out. This rant is for if he's out. Let's look back to weeks 1 through 3. Tight end snaps, Musgrave, FitzPatrick, Musgrave, FitzPatrick, Musgrave, FitzPatrick, about the same. I'm just saying, when you look at their targets, about the same. What and so in 4 out of 9 games, the tight end two has gotten multiple targets. In 2 out of 9 games, three of their tight ends have gotten targets. So that means whoever they're calling up, I think Sims is no longer on the team or whatever. He wasn't in the player pool, I think. I'll just double check that because I didn't see him earlier, but I did not do this earlier. Yeah, he's not in the player pool, got traded or something. So Wiley's been the guy for a couple weeks now. I think they actually don't have him in the proper. I think they have him as a tight end or something, or as a. Let me look this up. Snap counts, Green Bay. Yeah, just snap counts will do it. Yeah, because it was. I don't. I need to make sure that he's there somewhere in the past because I saw him last week. I'm pretty sure he's on the. Hmm. Well, I don't see him on this list. Wiley. Maybe he wasn't called up. I thought I seen him running routes. Anyway, I'm going to have him in a bunch of lineups, so I hope he's called up today. He is in the player pool, and he would be the tight end three for Green Bay. They run about 46% two tight ends, so that's the reason why we're interested in that. But also, like, I just don't think Kraft was better than either of these guys much. I mean, like, he's a little better. He's a little older. They're paying him more or something. Musgrave's fine. FitzPatrick seems pretty good for a new guy. I think it's 50-50 who is the tight end one today. That's my first take. I don't think Musgrave, despite being older, has really earned his spot. And so I think you could see FitzPatrick overtake him real easy. Like, I mean, and it could just be because they put the better pass defending linebacker on Musgrave first, right? I mean, it happens all the time where you see, well, it didn't happen yesterday with Mandrews getting shut down and likely getting some passes, but I was right about Zay. Yeah, ish. Glad he didn't catch a touchdown and make me wrong about Zay. It still wouldn't have been optimal. Whatever. Okay, so the second place for today, pulling it back, is whether or not I've been seeing more Emmanuel Wilson in this offense recently. And the answer is yes. Look at this week 1 and week 2. On the team, not part of the team. This was Josh Jacobs' team. His team. All him. 94, 87, 66, 23. What are we at now? 55, 35. 55, 50, and 40. That's not all blowouts, guys. That's not all blowouts. We also have targets. These are the last few weeks' targets. It's starting to become a thing. We got more targets for Emmanuel Wilson one of these weeks. It's not strictly that. I mean, Josh can catch him. You saw last week he was back to pass catching. Brooks is also there. He's going to get his 15% snaps, but his opportunity hasn't changed. That's the reason why I'm not putting him in this mix because he's, fine if you get there. I think he might be in my list, whatever, but he's not the key to this slate kind of guy. So these are my guys who are your key to this slate kind of guys. It's just the running back and the tight end there. That's where you got. Let me see if I got anything else to say. That's all I'd done when I did this first pass earlier, but let's look around. Yeah, Saquon, I'm pretty sure we're not going to do anything with Saquon, but let me check. I have the Monty Hall problem up from yesterday talking to somebody, and why should we swap, right? Because in NFL, when there's not a lot of late news, people think, oh, you shouldn't swap. No, look up the Monty Hall problem if you have this thought. Great. I mean, like, I'm glad people are learning about that because that is the perfect comp for that. So, okay. You want to go to Philadelphia? It's like, it's the exact like way you prove to yourself the Monty Hall problem is right, is to do it with 1,000 doors. Okay. 60% Saquon. What happened last week? Eagles games. They lost. Yeah, it's a close one. Ugh. What's going on with that? Why was he less involved? Did he get hurt or something? Because it wasn't close. Okay. Why did they put it in reverse chronological order? Show me the most recent games first. Like, that's most relevant. Anyway. Google has messed me up with this a few times. I feel like old Google wouldn't have. But so it was a blowout. That's why I lost snaps. And you can do it's not a blowout today. Don't do that. I started this on old SaberSim, so that means I get unique random as an option, even if I do it on regular SaberSim, which was important yesterday when I couldn't get the old site to deal with the 4,000 lineups or whatever it was I needed to crunch. Okay, but is everything ranked fine over here? I was trying to double check the sorting, but it doesn't show me the sorting. Yeah, whatever. Oh, and you should every time you go to a new browser window, double check that the ROI sorting is correct, because if this doesn't match what it was in another browser, it's no longer the same set. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at where we get from all this talk. We get to a lot of Saquon. We get to way too much Emmanuel Wilson. You probably understood that we were going to be there. I think this captain stuff is a little bit too cute. I mean, how many lineups is that? Yeah, I'm running enough lineups today where I don't need to get quite this cute. Five, and then 5% FitzPatrick. And the reason we're doing this, by the way, if you remember, is the graph from Cody's optimal captain paper. So like showdown, optimal captain, price. Yes, thank you, Cody, for knowing SEO very well. There's a great graph here. Yeah, this is one where I don't think people are aware of this. So this is an amazing graph, and commit this to memory. And every time you play a showdown slate, do this. Um, so this is the where your captain should be to win. You don't want super expensive captain. You don't want super cheap captain. So that's why this is a Gaussian, right? That's what's crazy about this. This is a yeah, this is an actual this is a phenomenological graph, but it looks like a Gaussian almost exactly if you are the kind of guy like me who looks at Gaussians a lot. This is a linear axis and it looks like a Gaussian. So what's important about that, right? We know the 68, 99, 5, 99.5 rule means don't have cheap captains. Don't do it. I used to get into that. So 5% of FitzPatrick, maybe 10% of Wilson at 4,000. Where are we on this graph? We're too low. That's like still 5% territory. So you got this is what I mean when I say I check whether my stands are rational, not just relative to the player's ownership, but relative to the full like historical data set. Am I going too crazy for this guy? The answer, yeah, okay. Then I will go less crazy for him. All right, so now our optimal captains 13, 16-2, 13-5, 16-5. Look at where we're at right here. If you want a top 1% lineup, you want to be captaining those dudes. And that's who we're captaining here. Not so much way on the top end. We don't have anybody priced there today. I mean, Hertz 16.5. So 16.5 puts you here. Okay. You can see Hertz over here at 16.5, a little bit on the downhill, right? So Hertz, you could make an argument to not captain Hertz today just because, or to at least limit him. Yeah, 10%. I think that's fine. And who's the other? Saquon. So Saquon's the other one. Between Saquon, let's see all our 16,000s. So Hertz, Saquon, and Jacobs, I guess. Yeah, they're about 16,000. So that adds up 3 and 13 and 33%. A little too high, I think. So 33% here. I should have 66% in the whole range, right? So if I have 33% right at the top, that's too much right at the top. So I'm going to limit them a little, and I think I'm going to do it by just covering Saquon because I don't really have a special. It's Saquon's day thing, right? It's just, maybe it is. Maybe it's like tush push 10 times day, and it's not Saquon's day, right? So yeah, let me double check also. I think that's like a 1/3 chance at least that's not Saquon's day. So let me make sure I'm like at least 1/3 not having Saquon. Yeah, yeah. We have him overweight and well, now I want to go back to 20% captain just because I was overweight captain, underweight flex. I don't really want to be underweight flex if I'm not overweight captain. Yeah, whatever. But 20 was a little too high for captain, so we are where we are. Okay, but now also, yeah, I do have to put it in that range somewhere, and I'm less happy with it being Antonio AJ Brown, not Antonio Brown. Okay, 20. Yeah, don't really want. Yeah, I can't see anywhere else to put that ownership or that exposure. So that's why I'm going to put it here. Okay, cool. Let's see. Still processing. All right. Yeah, I love this. I love this. So now between all my crazy plays, that's 20% captain. Fine. 20%. That's like it's a little too much. It's like maybe two times the field for Musgrave's at 8,100. So let's look where 8,100 is. It's defensible to have a little bit more Musgrave. So that means I only have to count the Wilson and Fitzpatrick at 10%, and that's fine. Because the upper part of this Gaussian, right, the 2%, 5% you could get on the upper end doesn't exist here. We don't have anybody priced that high today. So if you're going to get those 2 to 5% plays that are still right, I mean, this is a Gaussian. So if you're over here past to the rule I'm talking about, I realize 95, 68 rule. Ah, yes. Okay, good. I was about to say, my wireless keyboard here has maybe hurt us. So this is something that I'm referencing, like you have recently taken AP statistics. This is something you should just have committed to memory. And when you look at a Gaussian, you should know 68, 20, or 30, and then a little 5%. So I'm saying, since it's a skew Gaussian, I'm putting my 5% over here, and I'm taking a little bit over here between 2 and 3 doing three sig figs or standard deviations, and that's probably the last time you'll hear somebody justifying their position on captains on Showdown using the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. But that's what I do, and that's what I think you should do too. Okay, let's look over at where are our leverage, what are our stands for flex, because this is somewhere where I haven't looked yet. So these are not intended stands. Way too high on Fitzpatrick, but my thought there was he's a good way to get different, and it's roughly 50-50 if he is the tight end one. I just don't know which one they want to play. So my overall here is 37 to, because I have 5% of him at captain, right? So I have 37% of him. It's a strong stand, but it's one that I intended to take. So I'm going to stick with it. 37%. And then how much of Musgrave do I have? 37 plus 10, so 47. Yeah, so 37, 47. That's almost 50-50. I think whichever one of them gets the tight end one work is optimal. So I want it to be close to 100. I like it. I'm not upset with that very strong stand. Let's see. Love, Musgrave, Hurts. I'm fine with Hurts. He's just a raw points play if I'm going to have all this value that I imagine. Yep, Emmanuel Wilson, the same thing, but let's double check. It's 50-50, I think, or 45-50 or something. How much did I put? 10 or 15%? 10's fine. 5%, even better. So 5% Captain Wilson, totally, totally doable. I think you're right. I wasn't comfortable with more than 5% because of the pricing and the optimal captains long term. So let's see. Wiley, that's fine at 3%. Gives us a little bit of an angle. All right, let's look at our negative leverages. You guys know I often do not care about these. Josh Jacobs, yeah. I mean, he's losing snaps. I mean, he lost snaps mostly in the blowout. No, that was Saquon. He's losing snaps just all the time. I guess I should double check. Packers, just make sure they didn't have like five consecutive blowouts. I don't think so, but I don't know. 10. No, it was a close game. 10. It was close in the last one. None of these are blowouts. A tie game? Wow. I forgot about that one. Okay. But yeah, so he's losing snaps, fine with it. AJ Brown got to make catches, fine with it. Saquon, man, I don't really want to be underweight, but presume I don't really want to be underweight. It's just the full stop there. What is my Saquon levels? I'm at 50% Saquon. Little low, little low. I'll go 35 here just to make sure I'm covering the field in both flex and captain for Saquon. And I want to also cover the field in both flex and captain for Hurts. So let me go to him in field and make sure I have minimum exposure. Okay, it's already higher than that, but I want at least 65% Hurts in the flex just because he's going to score a bunch of points all the time. Uh, what do I think? 85% Hurts total. So 83. Probably no captain. Yeah, one. Perfect. I just told you I wanted 85. It got 84% Hurts. Ideal. Okay. Proj. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So let's look back at these negative leverages, make sure we're happy. Packers and Eagles defense, a little overowned for me today. That's all. I don't foresee it being the kind of game where that is optimal. And if you're giving it 10 to 20%. You know what? It's in the same article. Defenses. uh, Yeah, look, this is a good one too. Who should you captain? What position? Not defenses, not kickers. The field does it. It doesn't work. Don't do it. It's not large field captain. Let's see. Where's the flex? Where's the flex? Um, yeah. This is another important graph, but you probably already had some idea. The field uses salary, and whether or not they recognize it, it's because of an implicit bias towards efficient markets. And you can see that is another shape that you recognize, right? Exponential. People are exponentially sure that you should use all your salary. And it's not too wrong. So it's just it's a function you can have in your mind when you're setting this, right? Because this goes way up. People are using their salary so much that these first 4 points, one, two, three, four, if you just cut those out, this curve is much nicer down here. So that's what I do. I have 49.6 as my long-term um, high end. And if it's a slate where I see a little more value, I go down to 49.4 because it's another little jump. And then beyond that, you could say there's another couple jumps. It's not really a jump. But I was coming here to see about defenses. Max 2 kickers and DST. Interesting. I thought there was something about whether you should use DSTs in here. Oh, that's cool. Well, okay, I'll stop messing around with this. I just wanted to see if I had a DST limit. There we go. Draftkings Lord captain, still captain. This is all about captains. That's fine. It's a good article, but I've already milked it. So my point is 35%. I think it's a little too high long term for what you're expecting out of these like let's look at projections. The defenses are down here with both the tight ends I just talked about. Either one, FitzPatrick or Musgrave. If either one is the tight end one, you don't need a defense. Emmanuel Wilson, if he gets work, don't need a defense. Um, Josh Wiley, if he catches one catch, don't need a defense. Chris Brooks, if he gets that work too, don't need a defense. I couldn't put Bigsby in there. I don't think that's likely. But the kickers, right? If the kickers make kicks, don't need a defense. There's so many ways you don't need a defense. I can't imagine the defense add up to 30% optimal on a site like this. What's the chance? Okay. What's the chances going under? 50%. So are all the unders optimal? Probably not. Probably like, I don't know, 15%. Ah, fine. That's pretty close to the ownership. Okay, fine. I can't really justify my unclick of these defenses aside from that I don't like playing defenses, and that's not a super great reason for stuff. Okay, so feel free to play defenses. I don't have a good enough reason to not play them. I guess it's also pretty sharp, right? If you wanted to do it, I've never done it, but I still recognize if you wanted to change the projections on the game and take the under and then just play that set, that's a sharp way to play every night because the field, like, people skew to the over. For me, that's because most data sets that we bet on, points, yards, they're all one-sided or receptions, right? Like they don't have negatives. So these are one-sided distributions. And for one-sided distributions, our sense of the like how the tail versus where the mean is and where we think it is based on normal Gaussian modeling is different. And so because you have a asymmetric distribution, our sense of where the mean is further up than it actually is because of it's a skew distribution towards the zero. So anyway, because we have bad human feel for the space, most like human things are big and wide enough where Gaussian is the general thing. That's what we learn in AP probability and statistics and stuff. So if it's not that, really don't know what to do very much. Still true for me, pretty much. I mean, I gotta get a little better at that. Okay. Don't have much more to say. These are all bad plays. Don't play them much. I'll get a little of some of them, but it's kind of a lot of dubs. Feels like a lot of dubs, but 30% owned. Guess I got to play a lot of dubs. All right. I'm not gonna feel great about it. I'm not gonna feel great about it, but I got to. Okay. I got to cover the field. You know what I mean? He could catch a big touchdown. It's not. Okay. Yeah, I'm out of points. So with that, I'll just say, oh yeah, I'll just plug the show because I really liked it. Josh's process show is back, so you should check it out. I really like the bimodal graphs. This is more of an NBA point, but he's showing. I've for a while been making kind of my whole thesis about NBA that people have bimodal distributions, and he just started doing it like without knowing about that. So he's showing like people's distributions of fantasy points and wins and losses. He's going to add like foul trouble. He's going to add blowouts and stuff. So I'll just find out if my thesis that I've been using for years is like tenable or not. So you should watch Josh Engelman's early strategy show, which is becoming again more of a what's it called? The process show, like he used to do. So if you've been missing that, I didn't know I've been missing it that much, but I really had. So check out the Stochastic channel around 6 a.m. Pacific time on a regular day. But for now, yeah, remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Whew, that's a lot of money. Might as well be us.